It happens in an instant. One moment, you're cruising along, music playing, mind on your destination. The next, a small amber-colored icon illuminates your dashboard, and your world shrinks to the size of that single glowing symbol. It's the check engine light, and it's one of the most universally stressful sights for any driver. Immediately your heart rate quickens. Your mind, which was just moments ago relaxed, is now a frantic whirlwind of questions. What does that light even mean? Is the engine about to fail? Am I stranded? The scenarios flash through your head, each one more worrying than the last. You might be on a busy highway, miles from the nearest exit, or on a quiet back road late at night. The context doesn't matter. The feeling is the same, a potent mix of confusion, anxiety, and helplessness. This initial moment of panic is where costly mistakes are born. Some drivers might ignore the light completely, hoping it will magically disappear. They push the worry aside, continuing for days or even weeks, potentially turning a minor, inexpensive fix into a catastrophic, wallet-draining failure. Others might overreact, immediately pulling over in an unsafe location or calling for an expensive tow truck when the car is perfectly fine to drive to a nearby auto parts store or even home. The fear of the unknown often leads to the worst possible decision. You start imagining the worst-case scenarios: a mechanic shaking their head gravely, a repair bill with a staggering number of zeros, the loss of your vehicle for days on end. Is this a simple sensor, or is the transmission about to give out? Will this cost $50, or will it be thousands? But what if you didn't have to guess? What if you could face that light not with panic, but with a clear, confident plan? That's exactly why we've created this guide. We're going to demystify that light and empower you with the knowledge to take control of the situation. This isn't about turning you into a master mechanic overnight. It's about giving you a complete step-by-step survival guide to understand what your car is trying to tell you, what your immediate next step should be, and how to make an informed, calm decision that saves you time, stress, and most importantly, money. Before you spend a single dollar or let that anxiety take over, take a deep breath. You have a plan now. We will walk you through everything from understanding the different types of warnings to reading the diagnostic codes yourself. By the end of this, that little light won't be a source of fear, it will be the start of a solution. So, what does that light actually mean? First, let's clear up a common misconception. It's not an engine is about to explode light. Its official name is the malfunction indicator lamp, or MIL. Think of it as a message from your car's brain, the engine control unit, or ECU. This powerful onboard computer constantly monitors hundreds of parameters to keep your engine running efficiently and cleanly. When the ECU detects a reading from a sensor that falls outside of its pre-programmed acceptable limits, it logs a fault code and turns on that light to get your attention. Now, you might have seen other warning lights on your dash, like for your ABS brakes or traction control. Those are specific. They point to a problem in a single system. The check engine light is different. It's a general alert covering a huge range of potential issues, from the fuel system and ignition to the transmission, and most commonly, the emissions control system. And this is why it can feel so vague, but it's also why it's so important. The most crucial piece of information you can gather immediately is its behavior. Is the light steady or is it flashing? A steady, solid light is a non-emergency notification. It means a fault has been detected and stored, and you should schedule a checkup soon. Ignoring it can lead to poor fuel economy, failed emissions tests, or eventually, more expensive repairs. But a flashing light, that's a completely different story. This is your car's equivalent of a red alert. It signals a severe active problem, like a major engine misfire that is dumping unburnt fuel into your exhaust. And this can rapidly destroy your catalytic converter, a very expensive component. If you see a flashing light, your only move is to reduce speed and pull over safely as soon as possible to prevent catastrophic damage. Here is your decision tree the moment the light comes on. Flashing. Top priority is safety. Steady? Stay calm and do a quick sensory check. Is the car shaking, overheating, making new noises, or losing power? If not, you can likely drive cautiously to a safe place to perform our first critical checks. Before you even open the hood, your dashboard holds clues. Is the car overheating? Is the oil pressure light also on? These combinations change the urgency. Next, the most common fix of all, the gas cap. A loose, damaged, or missing gas cap is a top 3 cause. It causes an evaporative emissions leak. Here's how to do it right. Unscrew completely, inspect the rubber seal for cracks, then screw back on until you hear 3 distinct clicks. This ensures a perfect seal. To move beyond guesses, you need to speak your car's language. You need an OBD-II scanner. The port is standard, under the dash near your knees. I recommend a basic Bluetooth model that pairs with a free app on your phone. It gives you real-time data beyond just a code. Plug it in with the car off, then turn the key to on. It will communicate and display a diagnostic trouble code, or DTC. Write this code down. It's your key. Now that you have the codes, let's decode some of the most common ones you're likely to encounter. Think of these as the usual suspects. We'll go through what they mean, the common symptoms you might notice, simple checks you can perform, the potential risk to your vehicle, and a ballpark idea of repair costs. This knowledge will empower you to have a much more informed conversation, whether it's with your mechanic or with yourself before ordering parts. Let's start with a very common and often misunderstood code. P0420, Catalyst System Efficiency Below Threshold. This code means the catalytic converter isn't cleaning the exhaust as efficiently as it should. Symptoms can be subtle, like a gradual drop in fuel economy or slightly sluggish acceleration. The most common cause is, of course, a failing catalytic converter, which is an expensive fix. However, before you panic, know that faulty oxygen sensors are a very frequent and much cheaper culprit. Your car uses an upstream and a downstream O2 sensor to monitor the converter. If one of them is sending bad data, the computer might mistakenly flag the converter. A simple check, if your scanner shows live data, is to compare the two. The upstream sensor's readings should fluctuate rapidly, while the downstream should be relatively stable. If the downstream sensor is mirroring the upstream, it points towards a bad converter. The risk here is medium. It won't leave you stranded, but you will fail an emissions test, and a clogged converter can eventually cause serious engine performance issues. An O2 sensor might cost $50 to $150, while a new converter can run from $500 to over $2,500. Always diagnose the sensors first. P0300, Random Multiple Cylinder Misfire Detected. This is a serious one. It means the engine's combustion process is failing in one or more cylinders. You'll feel this as a rough, idle, engine shaking, or hesitation when you accelerate. If the check engine light is flashing, that's a critical warning. Pull over safely and shut off the engine as soon as possible to prevent catastrophic damage to the catalytic converter. The causes are vast, but usually start with the ignition system, worn spark plugs, bad ignition coils, or faulty plug wires. It could also be a fuel issue, like a clogged fuel injector or low fuel pressure. A simple diagnostic trick for a specific cylinder misfire, say a P0302 for cylinder 2, is to swap the ignition coil from cylinder 2 with cylinder 3. Clear the codes and see if the misfire moves to cylinder 3, giving you a PC0303. If it does, you've found your problem, a bad coil. The risk is high, especially with a flashing light. A simple tune-up with plugs and coils might cost $200, $500, but ignoring it could lead to a multi-$1,000 repair bill. P0171, System Too Lean, Bank 1. This code means the engine is getting too much air or not enough fuel. Symptoms often include a rough idle, hesitation, and poor fuel economy. The most frequent cause is a vacuum leak. A cracked or disconnected hose is letting unmetered air sneak into the engine after the mass airflow sensor. It can also be caused by a dirty MAF sensor itself, a weak fuel pump, or clogged fuel injectors. A simple check is to visually inspect all the vacuum hoses connected to the intake manifold for obvious cracks or disconnections. You can also carefully listen for a hissing sound with the engine running. The risk is low to medium. It's not an immediate danger, but running lean for too long can cause engine damage over time. A vacuum hose is a few dollars, while a fuel pump replacement could be $400, $1,000. P0405, Evaporative Emission System Leak Detected, Large Leak. This one is about fuel vapors escaping. As you already know from our earlier check, the number one cause is a loose or faulty gas cap. But if the cap is tight, it points to a significant leak elsewhere in the evap system, like a cracked vapor canister, a disconnected hose, or a stuck-open purge valve. You might occasionally smell fuel. A related code is P0442, which indicates a small leak. This is trickier, often caused by a tiny crack in a hose or a failing seal. The risk for both is low. It's primarily an emissions issue and won't affect how the car drives. A new gas cap is about $20. Finding a small leak can be labor-intensive, sometimes requiring a professional smoke test that can cost $100–200 just for the diagnosis. Finally, P0128, coolant thermostat, coolant temperature below thermostat regulating temperature. This simply means your engine isn't warming up to its proper operating temperature quickly enough, or at all. The most obvious symptom is your dashboard's temperature gauge staying on the low side, even after driving for a while. You'll also notice your cabin heater isn't blowing very hot air, and your fuel economy will suffer because the engine is running in a prolonged warm-up mode. The cause is almost always a thermostat that's stuck in the open position. The risk is low. It's not dangerous, but it's not great for your engine's long-term health or your wallet. This is often a very manageable DIY repair, with the part costing between $20 and $60. A shop might charge $150 to $300 for the job. So, do you DIY or call a pro? If the fix is a gas cap, a loose hose, or even changing spark plugs and you're comfortable, go for it. For codes related to internal engine components, transmission, or advanced electrical issues, your best investment is a professional diagnosis. A good mechanic will confirm the root cause, not just swap parts based on a code. After a fix, use your scanner to clear the code. The light will turn off, but the real test is if it comes back. The car needs several drive cycles to run its own tests. If the light stays off after a week of driving, you've likely solved it. Remember, 1. Don't panic. 2. Check gas cap and symptoms. 3. Scan for the code. 4. Research your specific code. 5. Decide to DIY or consult a pro. This process turns panic into control. Arming yourself with this knowledge and a simple scanner can save you hundreds on diagnostics and prevent you from being overcharged. You've become a smarter car owner. If this guide empowered you, hit like, subscribe to Modern Car Survival, and turn on notifications. Up next, I'll show you how to use your new scanner to read live fuel trim data and catch problems even before the light comes on. Thanks for watching.